Oh, so I forgot to share about I went to visit some friends a couple of days ago. um I hadn't seen for many years, maybe a couple of decades. And I didn't tell anyone that I was visiting. I drove to where I used to live in one area where me and my family lived. We moved in 2003, and so I went and knocked some doors and had some chats. And I also went to visit a friend called Louisa, who are meant to be a godparent. So I went to give her some. I was like, um, it was it was quite interesting because she's been the last time I saw her, maybe it was 10 years ago, and she was doing building work. And when I turned up, um, outside the front, uh, it just looked like a scrapyard of everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of work to do here. But I looked over the garden and it all looked nice out there and inside. So I think it was just outside it needed to be finished and a few other jobs. But it's hard work doing when you start to do something like major building and renovation. Anyway, I hadn't hadn't seen this friend for a while, but she's one of my friends that she's a deep thinker and she says her mind. And I didn't know. I think my light is flashing a little bit. You have to excuse the flickering. Um, Sometimes I don't know what's on her mind. Whether she's okay with me or not. But you know, I I thought I was in the love section. Anyway, I'd stayed overnight at a daughter's house and she had made sausage sandwich for breakfast and I ate half of it and I stood outside my friend's house eating the other half of it because no one was answering the door and all the windows were open and there was cars on the drive and there was no one answering. There was no sign of life. There was a window open. I stuck my head through it. I thought, yeah, it's the right house. I can see pictures on the walls of them. And so didn't call up to say it was me. I was just like, hello, can you get me some water, anybody? Like as if I was some poor stray on the street. Anyway, I was thinking, oh, no one's answering the door. I don't know what's going on. And I thought, oh, maybe she don't want to see me. Maybe she's hiding. Sometimes you get paranoid. And I was like, I don't know. I did need some water actually. I did have a water bottle. And anyway, I was like, waiting about 10 minutes. And then I finished my sandwich and I was like, oh, well, maybe they've gone for a dog walk. Maybe they're just on their way back. And I was just thinking, oh, well, they definitely look like they're in. I mean, the windows are open and maybe they're in the garden. So I started calling over and it was locked. And I was like, hello. And then I was like, I think I called out my name. And anyway, this is my paranoia is that, I doubt whether I'm a lovable person half the time. I mean, I think I am, I've come to terms with, I'm a good person. I want people to be okay, and I want to make people happy and heal them if they're having a bad time, or help them nutritionally, or um, help them to realise their strengths, etc., etc. Anyway, this person, she had missionary discussions um, in my faith. But chose to join another religion, but asked me to be a godparent, which I thought was quite comical. So she joined an Anglican church, and I was a Latter Day Saint, and she asked me to be a godparent, and I was honoured. And so I thought, oh, I'd give her a spiritual uplift now and again. And obviously I've had lots and lots of stress going in my life, so I wanted her to know I was thinking of her. I did love her, and but anyway, after a while, there was a face appear like in the distance upstairs, and I like this lad And then and then the horrified face of my friend, like she had glasses on, and I like, and I was like, is this a good? Is that what kind of look is that? What is this meaning? Do I start? Do I run now? Do I go? Do I think I'm unwelcomed? And I was like, I thought, well, let's just see if a door opens, shall we? And oh my gosh, it was pretty hilarious. Well, not hilarious. I was like, oh, she don't want me there. Maybe I've got her on a bad day. Maybe she's decided, she don't want to know me or something, or that I haven't seen her for a while. Anyway, she appeared, and she was smiling, and she's all lovely, and she's like, "Oh, I'm really ill. Don't come close," And I was like, "Oh no, I was gonna stay at a distance, with COVID and everything." She said that she got tonsillitis, and that she was in bed really ill, but she was like really pleased to see me, even though her face was the opposite. Anyway, we had a lovely chat and caught up on life, and that was great. We had a chat about things, and yeah, she was thrilled to see me. Actually, thank goodness I did wait for her to appear rather than just vanish. And no, that was great. And then I went round some other places, and they some of my friends had moved, and I don't know where they moved to. I went to the house and they weren't there, and but I knocked on well, there were several of us that have children go to the same school. So when I'd be heavily pregnant, some of them would offer to take the children for me, and then when they couldn't take children, I would take their children, and we'd do these car swaps, or they'd do the walking the children kind of thing, and so it was nice to catch up and see some of these children all grown up, and yeah, and I had some enlightening of, like, not nice enlightening. At one place, at the back of where I used to live, there was a girl that used to look over my fence, the fence behind me. She'd be like, "Oh, can I come over and play?" She'd always want to come over and play, and she's quite hyperactive. But anyway, she was a grown woman now with her own grown-up children, and it was like, "Let's time go." I mean, how can I be that old? I'm not that old, So literally, apparently you're meant to just pick an age and stick to that. So, how old am I? I'm certainly not that old, but obviously, telltale signs. The old chin and the nose drooping. It's like we all get old, don't we? But I feel inside, I still feel like some kid, at times. Well, most of the time, really, I suppose. But anyway, she knew two of my brothers because they were my little brothers, and they'd come and visit me, and she'd come over and play with them sometime. But later on, she actually went to work where my mum was, and because my mum's partner has a taxi firm, and she went to work there, and so she gave me some gossip, and I was enlightened by what I had said about me, the gossip about me. So I was like, oh, that's great, isn't it? What the mum says, And I said to my friend, well, that's not how things were. And she said, oh, well, she was a right bitch about you. And I was like, love my mum. Send the good vibes. Anyway, that was interesting, and it's like cure crumbs. Anyway, my mum's not very well, and I wish her well, and she's not had a great life. So, there's a possibility that she's got borderline personality disorder, and when you figure out that people have got some, you have to make allowances, don't you? I mean, I've obviously got something. I'm like extreme sensitive, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, empathetic, feel everyone's pain, feel everyone's grief, want to help everyone. And then get afraid to in case they don't want to know me. But I guess when you love someone, you always love them really. If someone's been your friend, you're always their friend really. You know, even if you don't get to see them. And I saw another person saw their children grown up as well. But yeah, it was a bit of down memory lane. But the area had really gone downhill. I mean, it's like it was neglected. And this this girl, well, this grown up woman now, she's like, "Oh, this area is the place, dream where you come for your dreams to die." I was like, oh my gosh, that was the thought process. I was like, well, I don't live in that area any longer, but the councils do need to get their heads together and go around each of the areas and just to see the state, to see what needs to be done and see what you know. You can't just leave these places in a mess. You know, do something. Um. Anyway, where else did I go? So that was a few days ago, but a while ago, I went. um, hey Terry, you're one of my subscribers, huh? Um, yeah, that was so lovely to see you, Terry, and that you let me cut your hair. I mean, you know, it was right down here, and you let me cut it up to like a chunky bob, didn't you? Oh my gosh, what a laugh. Anyway, my friend Terry, I hadn't seen him for like 10 years, I think, or I don't know, maybe a bit less. And I just thought I'd just